Believe it or not, we did hit a record low this morning, or at least dove down to one. CVG 49 for today's observed low, which breaks the record, not by much, but by a little. The previous record of 50 degrees set back in 1945. So it's been 80 years since we've seen a record low on August 27th. It has not been that long since we hit a record low in the summer months. It's been since 2014. That happened in July of 2014 that we hit our last record low in the summertime. As far as August goes, 2004 was the last time we had a record low in August, and now it's 2025 with temperatures. Again, this is this morning's observed lows. 53 here at the Lunken Airport in Cincinnati in the upper 40s. Cincinnati itself 53 degrees. Look, some areas got really close to the 40 degree mark. Hamilton, Middletown. We had parts of Clinton County as well getting into the middle to lower 40s. Not getting into frost territory, but definitely one where you're reaching for the jackets in the mornings, and that's okay because we are seeing these chilly mornings transform into relatively comfortable and dry afternoons. It's actually been since August 15th, so it's been 13 days, if you include today, since we've seen measurable rain at the Cincinnati International Airport. So the now and the later, what to expect here and then. Fall-like mornings are going to continue. So are the dry conditions. We'll take a look at the drought monitor, which is updated every Thursday. So this is going to be a little outdated information, but tomorrow we'll have that updated information for the drought monitor. Very dry, staying pretty dry into your holiday weekend. Labor Day is already on the horizon, and we're going to be warming up just a little bit. Nothing too scorching for your outdoor plans, but certainly a noticeable warm up from the chill that we've been sitting in over the last couple of days. Beautiful sunrise this morning to a mostly clear sky. Deep blue sky is what we're seeing towards the late morning as we see temperatures slowly but surely cracking back into the 70s. If you can believe it, the normal for this time of year is going to be in the middle 80s, and we have barely gotten into the middle 70s. Right now, look at that. I got a boat on the Ohio River, and it's a beautiful day to get there. 72 degrees, partly sunny skies, a variable wind, and that's because today, especially later today, we're going to start to notice a bit of a wind shift. We've been basking in the northwesterly breezes on the heels of a relatively warmer weekend, and now humidity. I mean, look at humidity, 35%. Put in perspective, folks. Typically for this time of year, we see that number doubled. Very fall-like, right? Visibility, of course, looking good. Again, those observed lows were in the middle to lower 40s for most of us. Some of us still in the middle 50s, depending on where the sensor is located. If it was a little bit farther away from buildings, it was able to drop into the 40s, which includes parts of southeastern Indiana and Batesville, Harrison, CVG at 49, Falmouth 46, and Middletown and Hamilton are the coolest, or at least got the coolest this morning at 43 degrees. Temperatures where they stand right now, just now getting into the 70s. Now that we see morning turn to afternoon, 60s will slowly turn to 70s. Our cooler spots right now at the top of the hour, 67 degrees up in Clinton County and Wilmington. And the warmer spots here in Cincinnati, 72 for both the Lunken Airport and Cincinnati. CVG at 70s, same with Connersville, Harrison, and Batesville. And we've got mostly clear skies. We've been able to see these really clear mornings, very dry air, and that is why we're able to tap into such cool temperatures for this time of year, is because we're able to get dry air that you can cool down very, very quickly. And usually when it's more humid, you can't get these lower temperatures. So northwesterly is not only just pulling in that cooler and the cooler air, but also the drier air. But what we're going to notice over the next 24 hours or so is this big blue H, the high pressure, is going to be skating a little bit farther east. And so instead of us seeing a northwesterly wind, as the H scoots this way, we're going to briefly notice on the back side of this a southwesterly wind. And so you're going to notice tomorrow and your Labor Day weekend will be a little bit warmer, but again, not too much warmer than where we're at right now, just something a little bit more seasonal. And then up north is our next weather maker. As that high pressure begins to lift a little bit, low pressure in the cold front will start to dive in and bring with it a chance for rain. No widespread concerns for your Labor Day weekend. In fact, most of us are going to remain dry because high pressure is going to be trying to fight off any of these rain chances. So the rest of the day today, Filtered sunshine as an upper level cloud deck moves on in, mid-70s for your forecast high, and you can expect those high temperatures when you're heading home from your 9 to 5. So mostly sunny skies, kind of a rinse and repeat forecast from the last couple of days just for your Wednesday, and a reminder of where we're supposed to be for this time of year, at least considered your normal for your high, 85 for August, and of course, that's 10 degrees below normal. Give you an idea of what today's sunrise and today's sunset was looking like. We're losing over 2 minutes of daylight a day, so it feels like fall. It's starting to look like fall as well. 7:02 is today's sunrise, and the sunset just after 8:15. We're not too far away at all from those 7 o'clock sunsets, less than 2 weeks away from them to be exact. So that's going to be a sunset that happens between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. and we will see that happen as we get a little bit closer, or at least deeper, into September. Fall is also not too far away at all, less than a month away. That is going to be on September 22nd. That's 26 days away. And then, of course, with fall, you got to think about Halloween. 65 days until Halloween starts. All right, bring it back to the now. Yes, tomorrow we are experiencing just a little bit of a warm-up, but not for the morning, mid-50s. With clear skies. So grab a jacket heading out the door tomorrow morning, and then the ride home, a pretty pleasant afternoon. Got some clouds moving on in ahead of a slight rain chance in the evening, 75 degrees once again for tomorrow. This is the afternoon. Depending on the cloud cover, we may see some high temperatures, that is, get closer to 80 degrees, whereas if you see the clouds, you will see more of the mid-70s. To give you an idea of your day planner tomorrow, again, a cool, clear morning, 50s for the morning once again. And then because we see that southwesterly wind, we are going to be noticing temperatures getting really close to 80 degrees, if not breaching that threshold. Mostly cloudy skies, and notice we get later into the evening, there is just a slim rain chance diving in from the north. So the areas that are most likely to see some of these stray showers are going to be parts of Fayette, Union, Franklin counties in southeastern Indiana, and then Butler, Clinton, and Warren counties here in southwestern Ohio. Here in Cincinnati, the chance is incredibly low, to put it quite frank. Your high school football forecast, if you're excited for Friday, it's okay. And if perhaps you are getting excited for potentially a fall-like football forecast, it is going to be more fall-like than where we're typically at for this time of year, but it's going to be warmer than what these last few days have been like. Long story short, it's still going to be cooler than the middle 80s. We're forecasting highs that afternoon at about 80 degrees, or in the middle 70s, I should say, to 80 degrees. And then just a slim rain chance. This is going to be diving in from the north once again. That same center of low pressure going to be providing just another pulse of rain, if you will. The farther north you are, the greater chance you have of one of these stray showers. I don't think it's going to cancel any games. We'll let you know if anything changes, but temperatures will be trailing off back into the 60s overnight into your Labor Day weekend, which, to give you that first alert on those rain chances, again, for tomorrow, it's a very light chance. For Friday, it is also a very light chance. There's just greater coverage and greater uncertainty, I should also say, for Friday's setup. But both are going to be from the morning, and both from the north, not during the morning, in the afternoon. And that's going to be weakening as it crosses from north to south. We'll track it here on your weather timeline. And the rest of your day today, which is looking fantastic. Partly sunny, partly cloudy skies, towards the heat of the day. We will notice some clouds overnight, and then slowly those southwesterlies we're going to kick on in, and we're going to notice this happen at the same time that rain is going to be pulling in from the north. So watch this pretty carefully. Here's noon for tomorrow. It's very light rain where we do expect it. Maybe some embedded moderate showers, but that's as intense as it's going to get. Here's 3, here's 6. Notice it weakens as it crosses from north to south. We could get a shower here in Cincinnati. You could get a shower as far south as Maysville, Kentucky, but it's not going to be as impactful compared to those who are north of Cincinnati. That chance will die down overnight into Friday. And so while we talk so much about how dry it's going to be, I want to show you what this means for the muggy meter as well, because we've been seeing this very flat line on the muggy meter, right, in which those dew points have actually been below what the muggy meter picks up on, which it starts at 50 degrees. We've been seeing dew points in the 40s, so that's why it is a flat line. But then Thursday, you see a little bit of an uptick. Still comfortable on the muggy meter, but that's bringing in that really just points to the southwesterly winds and also provides just a little bit more fuel for any of those stray showers to work with. And then your comfortable holiday weekend, or at least it starts quite comfortable, Saturday, Sunday, and then we're starting to see a little bit more humidity coming in on Labor Day itself, but not until the afternoon. So still looking at a mostly dry Labor Day weekend. Don't cancel any plans quite yet, but you'll see here in your 7-day coming up in a second, there is just the slightest chance for rain late in the day on Labor Day itself. But look at this, 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. So this is kind of just depicting where temperatures are going to stand as far as normal goes for the days September 2nd through September 6th. The blue means leaning below normal, and normal for this time of year is going to be the low 80s. So we can expect most days to trend a little bit cooler than the low 80s. Hey, but here's some good news, at least for those of us who maybe are a little bit sick of trying to water the grass this time of year. I've noticed a lot of sprinklers out recently. We are starting to see a little bit more above normal precip as we step into September, which will hopefully offset the dry conditions that we've settled into for the month of August, which, to give you an idea of where drought conditions stand, we are currently not under a drought technically in any of our area locations across the tri-state. We are just considered abnormally dry in parts of Carroll and parts of Owen County. That's the yellow that you see there on your screen. It's abnormally dry as dictated by the drought monitor, which again is updated on Thursday. So we'll have new information on the drought monitor, see if we see a little bit more intensification to some of these categories. I'm not expecting a dramatic difference just because we haven't seen extreme heat. If you remember last year, the drought it made headlines because it was considered a flash drought. And what happens during a flash drought, you need to not have a lot of rain or zero rain at all, but also you need the really hot temperatures to evaporate any rain that is left. The good news about this year is that we haven't had the extreme heat, at least recently, to accelerate the drought process. So I'm not expecting anything too dramatically different coming in tomorrow, but of course, because we haven't seen any measurable rain since August 15th, you're likely going to see some changes with this map. We'll of course let you know what things look like tomorrow as that information comes on in. But today, 75, filtered sunshine, low humidity as that sun sets, 8:16 tonight, 55, partly cloudy skies. Definitely grab the jacket for the early risers. The sun sleeping in a little bit more, 7:03 in the morning for that sunrise, and tomorrow just a little bit warmer, but still staying mostly dry. A slim late chance in the evening of one of those showers coming in from the north. But other than that, sticking pleasant and sticking dry through most of this first alert extended forecast, which, a reminder, the Reds come home for the weekend series on Friday, and they bring with it the potential for the 80s for the first time in what feels like a good amount of time since the weekend, to be quite frank. Sunday, 80 is our forecast high just ahead of Labor Day. Notice no big heat in your Labor Day weekend forecast. That seems to be the trend. And just very slim rain chances as we head into next week. A pretty unsettled pattern as we enter into that first full week of September, which again, September starts on Monday, Labor Day. 82 grows to 84 with slim rain chances, and you'll notice some thunderstorms coming off of the middle 80s into next week as well. But because we're not seeing any extreme heat or extreme humidity with that, I'm not forecasting anything too strong or even severe is the good news for the middle of next week. We'll let you know if anything changes, of course. See if any questions coming on in. Susan's tuning in. Such a beautiful day. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you, Susan. You too. Definitely get out and enjoy it as we see just a little bit more heat coming into the weekend. But again, just a little bit. It's still going to be quite comfortable outside. Thanks for tuning in. Andrea's tuning in. Will it be sunny tomorrow? It will be sunny to start the day, and then we'll start to see some clouds coming on in from the north towards the afternoon ahead of that slim rain chance. Thanks for tuning in, Andrea. And Michael, good afternoon to you as well. All right, I've been here for about 15 minutes. It's 12:15 on the dot. I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. I'm live in Queensgate. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.